Well, did you feel it last Friday, right now? Ever since the eclipse, we are skyrocketed right into a Mercury retrograde after that eclipse. But did you feel the shift? I don't know about you, but everything feels completely different. It's been building up to this for months, for years, really. But the past few months have been so intense. If you know anything about Dolores Cannon, she talks about the new earth and the old earth splitting. And a lot of people have a lot of different takes on it, whether it's the biblical. I don't know enough about the Bible to even tell you what it's called. I'm slipping on the words right now, but it's where the rapture, where everything ends, where the blue beams come out of the sky, and those who aren't worthy go to hell, the rest ascend. It's not completely wrong, but nobody's really physically going anywhere. We're all staying here, but everything everything is perception. So if you've noticed a higher rise in spirituality and consciousness, and people taking on homesteading, getting back to the earth, getting back out in nature and doing things the way our ancestors did them. And then you notice people still stuck in the daily grind, the people still stuck in believing in the government and politics and believing that any of it, any of them, any of the whole concept gives a shit about you. If you're still stuck in the capitalistic viewpoint of how this society has been working, I would say you're still stuck in the old earth. The new earth is the rising in our own power and realizing we don't have to do what they told us to do. We don't have to live that way anymore. My greatest, I didn't come up with it. My favorite, I guess it's an old meme. I don't know where it really started. I actually think it was a newspaper illustration in the very beginning. Was a political cartoon, and it shows these high royal bankers sitting around a monopoly table with one of us down on our hands and knees being the table. That's all we are, is the table. All of the war, all of the suffering, all of the chaotic shit that goes on. I'm not saying it's our fault, but we're allowing it to go on. The second we stand up, the game's over. Without us, they don't have the power. Without us, they don't have the control. Without us, their game's over. That's not why I got on here to talk today, but I'm 3 minutes in, and so at least I know that everybody who's not supposed to be here is already gone. I've noticed, like on my last video, the average watch time is 18 seconds. It's hard to compete with attention spans these days with reels. Everybody's attention span, not everybody, a lot of people's attention spans, they're like 5 seconds. And I've been feeling that difference. I have some amazing people in my life, but I don't really have anyone that I can talk to about these things in a deep sense. That's why I started doing this. Because at least me putting it out there, one, I feel like I'm getting these downloads and this information, and coming across these certain books for a reason to get this information out there. And I have some great supportive friends, but most people just they're just looking at me like they don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, and that's okay. I don't really know if I know what I'm talking about either. I know what I feel. I know what's true to me, which is all that matters. This is entire reality is a perception. You make it up. Your life can be terrible. Your life can be a victim mode, suffering, sad life, or it can be happy and beautiful. It can be miraculous and magical. It doesn't matter about how much money you have or what materials you have. You can be the most depressed person on this earth with all the money, or you could be living dirt poor with nothing but the shirt on your back and be the happiest the happiest person. The other one's making an appearance in this video. This is Leah. She's much more shy. Anyways, the split happened last Friday. In my opinion, a lot of people have talked about the split already happened or it's happening. And yeah, it probably doesn't all happen at once, but I woke up Friday and everything felt completely different in a beautiful way. I'm lucky enough that I'm with the New Earth, and I know a lot of y'all are too, and if you're still listening, you definitely are. If you didn't scroll past this in a few seconds and you've listened to me ramble for 5 minutes, I think we're on the same page here. The trajectory of this year is beautiful, and I know a few people have heard me talking about this for months now. March, right now, today is March 17th, 2025. Right now, March is like the pause. Everything's just kind of quiet. Everything's building up. You can feel the energy, but nothing's quite happening yet. I think by the end of March, early April, I'm gonna feel a whole lot different. Things are gonna start picking up, speeding up. April is going to be a month that really shows us the direction of our year, where we are headed, what we've been working on, the things that are coming through. June, I'm skipping over May on it for a reason. June's going to be looking a whole lot different. There's going to be a lot of different people coming into your life. There's going to be a lot of different situations, a lot of different opportunities. And then July is going to be when you look back and you don't even recognize your life or yourself in this life. You're going to look back and be like, January 2025 was a completely different person. Personally, I'm already feeling that. I don't really know. I've been changing, but I've just more been accepting who I really am. I hide a lot of myself from even the people closest to me, because I've always been tapped into something I couldn't understand and couldn't really explain. And I'm just in the past year or two starting to understand a lot about myself, and here in the past few months even more. And a lot of that is witch wounds from past lives. And I mean, even in this life now, but especially in past lives, you're not supposed to talk about these things. Witchcraft, magic, the occult sciences, all of this stuff that I'm gonna be talking about. There's a lot that I haven't really dove into. A lot of this, you can get burned at the stake, literally. There's my throat chakra is what I've been working on. Being able to voice who I am, being able to speak my truth. And that's really been coming through this year. But it's time for me to come out of hiding. And so if you're here 8 minutes in, you are about to learn a little bit about me. There's going to be a lot more coming out. But so on Friday, I woke up. I thought it was going to be a really good clearing day, and I woke up kind of anxious, and I haven't really been that anxious lately. Anxiety is like my middle name my whole life until the past few months. But I woke up pretty anxious on Friday, and I still don't really actually know why. I just think it was a lot of chaotic energy happening. But it was about midday. I'd already meditated that morning. Was still, fidgety. Was walking around in circles. Couldn't really figure out what I was doing with myself. And I was like, all right, I need to go ground myself and really meditate a little bit more. And I have out in the woods here, I have my favorite tree. It's this giant tree, one base, two big pillars, which split off into two more big pillars. So I call it my tuning fork tree. I've had a lot of insights and downloads, a lot of happiness, a lot of tears at this tree over the past few years. It's been good to me. So I always end up back out at this tree. So I go out there, not really feeling like meditating, not feeling in a calm, peaceful state, but I was being drawn to just sit down and shut the fuck up, which sometimes is the best thing to do. And I instantly was just right into a deep meditative state, which usually takes me about 10-15 minutes of silence, but I was just right into it, right? And I was pretty much thrown right into my first past life regression. I've always had abilities that I don't speak about. I've always had powers, gifts, whatever you want to call it, tapping into source. And it's caused me a lot of hell in this life. But I'm learning I'm learning now how to just create abundance and magic out of these abilities, and I'm learning how to help myself so that I can help other people. And this is the tip of the iceberg. I mean, it's all just beginning. So if you know me now, this is gonna be a really cool ride. I'm documenting all this so that people can see the ascension. You haven't gotten to see a lot of the shadow work and the things that have gotten me to here, and now 11:11 on the timer. But you're gonna get to see this ascension because I'm putting it out there. It's for me, really. I don't care if anyone actually looks. Most people won't, but I'm doing this for me because I go on and I watch videos of people talking about their awakenings and coming to this different mindset, allowing your gifts to shine through. So going to my first past life regression. Yeah, it was an intense one. I've always been really drawn to the Akashic Records, and I'm learning more and more about it. I actually just ordered a book from Linda Howe, Howe. It was recommended to me from my metaphysical maven. Go follow her on Instagram. She's awesome. But it looks like Linda Howe covers the Akashic Records pretty heavy. So I'm waiting on that book to come in, so I'm pretty excited. And I listen to Amy Belair, Cosmic Oracle on Instagram, Third Eye Awakening podcast. She's an Akashic Records reader. Always just been really drawn to it, and deep in somewhere inside of me, I've always been like, yeah, you're a key holder. But then I'm like, no, that's just your ego, really? And you think you're a fucking key holder? I think I might be. So I'll go into this past life regression. I'll stop rambling now and tell you this actual story. It's funny, for someone who doesn't like to talk, 13 minutes later, I'm rambling about shit that I didn't really come on here to say. So I sit down and I see this room of light, and I've seen it before. I've been there before in past lives, but I've been there in this life in meditation. I don't think I've ever been in the room. I've always been on the outside. It's kind of just like this room of glowing light, but it almost looks like a spaceship, but it's not. It's like a room, but not how we perceive a room exactly. There's a glass door in front of me. I've never been in the room before. All of a sudden, I'm in the room, and there's these big blue flaming beings. That sounds like a fairy tale to try to explain, but there's just these big energy beings, and I was perceiving them as blue. And they say to me, "Welcome to the council. You have been granted access. We've been waiting for you." And I'm just like, the council? What are you talking about? What is going on? I've been here before, and it is so nice to be back. So they say, "Welcome to the council. You have been granted access." And I can just feel every hair on my body standing straight up. I feel every bit of my being anchoring into the tree, into the ground around me. Nothing but this overwhelming peace. And they tell me, this is the tip of the iceberg. These different healing modalities that you've been diving into, these different abilities and gifts that have been strengthening and coming into your life recently, the things you've known about and the things you're just now learning about is all the tip of the iceberg. You are here to help and heal thousands of people. And I'm just like, yeah, right, dude. I'm just trying to get my life together and get myself together. Somebody who I've been connecting with a lot lately and learning a lot about lately, she's always been there, but I never knew who she was, is the goddess Isis. Not ISIS like, the Middle Eastern terrorist group, but the goddess Isis. And she steps forward. And these other beings kind of disappear. I don't know if we went to a different room. It felt different, but the light got brighter, and she steps to me and she says, you are going to help so many people, but you have to heal yourself first. And she reaches out, and I feel her hand over my heart center. And it's just this glowing, healing, loving light surrounding me. And I just feel tears running down my face. Happy tears, relieving tears, refreshing tears. Cowboys do cry. Shout out to my friend Cody. Cowboys do cry. Just don't cry for long. And I just feel this light emanating through me. And all of a sudden, I'm somewhere else. I'm still here. I can still feel my physical body. And I go to these places in my mind a lot, but this was different. And all of a sudden, I'm back into the early 1900s. I think it was 1920s. I'm going to say 1923 is kind of what it felt like. And it was me. It didn't look like me. Wasn't as pretty as I am in this life, but it was me in my most recent, or what seemed to be my most recent past life. This is my first time ever going into a past life regression that I know of. I've seen some wild stuff, and I go some interesting places. Most of them I don't know what's going on. And so this is a cool journey to start learning about all this and being able to experience it. But I knew what was happening. Isis was showing me my most recent past life, and I was a wealthy, powerful person, but I was a piece of shit. I was an asshole. Not like abusive pedo asshole, but like greedy, selfish. I didn't give a shit about helping other people. It was all, what can I do for me? I wasn't a good person. But I had the resources, I had the powers, I had the money, I had the love, I had the recognition. But it didn't mean anything, because it was only for me. I wasn't helping anybody. I didn't care about anybody. But here I am, broad daylight. I could feel, it was warm here, but it wasn't like beach warm. But I could feel this humid, warm, salty wind gust just flowing over me as I'm sitting here, and I'm like, wow, it smells, it tastes like I'm at the beach. But I'm not. I'm in Floyd County, Virginia. It's far from the beach. But I can feel the beach. I start feeling the sand in between my fingers. And I see me laying by a campfire in the middle of the day, all alone, sad, crying, regretful, and I was bleeding from my heart center, from my chest. There was just blood gushing out of me. I don't know if I was shot. I don't know if I was stabbed. I do know I didn't do it to myself. There was no one else there. They might have been there recently, but I didn't do it to myself. It was karma. But I was bleeding. I was dying alone, and all I could think about was, I could have helped so many people. I could have been so much kinder. I could have been so much more compassionate. I could have been so much more happy. And that's all I really got from it. There's a lot more from that past life that I think I'll be getting introduced to soon. But that day, that's all that I got. And I came back, and I was just like, so much makes sense in this, like, my money wounds. I've always been oversensitive, shitty self-worth, never believed in myself, never loved myself. That's all changing now. But I've always been a people pleaser. What can I do for other people? It's never been an even transaction. I give and I give and I give and get nothing in return. For most people, not everybody, but a lot of people that I've chosen in this life have been a lesson for me to know that I'm worth receiving it back. This whole life, I've been bleeding from my heart. I don't listen to my heart, but I give everybody else my heart. It really, there's a lot of personal stuff I'm not going to go into that it brought to light with my past life, but it also has proven to me why I'm here this time. I will have the wealth and the power, I don't even like using that word, but I'll have the wealth and the ability and the opportunity to help people in this life. And that's why I'm here this time, is to bring myself to this state of so much love and compassion that I can give it to everyone and everything around me. It was transformational. It was eye-opening. It was beautiful. It was healing. It was sad. It was exciting. And it's only the tip of the iceberg. But the council, I believe, are the key holders of the Akashic Records. And I've been trying to kind of get in there. And I think I've been getting little dabbles here and there of the Akashic Records, of being in my own records. I don't know that I've knowingly been in anyone else's yet. But follow along. Get ready for this ride, because I'm going to document the more that comes to me, the more I'm able to help people. And who knows? Today's what? March 17th, 2025. Let's say a year from now, I might be giving you your Akashic reading. I might be diving into your records to help you heal. If you made it 22, 23 minutes in, thank you. I don't know that many will. But if you did, you're the real one. I hope you join me along for this ride, because it's going to be exciting. And I have a feeling a lot of you, especially if you're in this video still, are on your own ride. And I'm really excited to hear about it. So let me know. Hit me up. Let's chat.